this. You know, some people out there who love us, and just most of them also don't love wrestling.
Hey, they were all waiting for us to get started. The millions and the millions of the Top Rope fans.
So I saw somebody talking about like the biggest like GOAT wrestler of all time, and they gave it to somebody, and person came back and they go like, no, like The Rock. And I'm like, you do understand there's a bunch of people that don't know shit about The Rock as a wrestler though, right? Like, as much as we may hate him, if you know who Hulk Hogan is, you know he was a wrestler.
Yeah. And I said, like, although with the current generation, because Hulk Hogan has been canceled for a while now, it might be Ric Flair.
See, it's just I
like, because I don't know, it's probably still Hulk Hogan, but it's probably like tipping closer to Ric Flair now.
Are you talking about just like GOAT status, or are you talking just in terms of? See, I just meant in terms of like nobody's crossed into the mainstream on a worldwide level like Hogan did, outside of like The Rock and his acting career now, but that's very separate than his wrestling career.
Yeah.
There's people,
I mean,
you have the memes of the young kids that don't even realize it's the same person.
He was also the biggest star of WWF when wrestling ratings were insane. Like the biggest time for wrestling. So I mean, you know, he did do that.
It was more Austin. The Rock came up after Austin already had it.
I mean, yeah, Stone Cold got it, but all their like biggest numbers were like The Rock time.
Hold on. When did Rock leave WWE? So The Rock only left, I think, 2 years after Austin. So it says he left in Austin left in 2003. I thought it was 2002. Rock left in 2004, so there wasn't even much time for. No, Stone Cold was wrestling a lot less at that time, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was on his way out.
I feel like Cena probably makes the most sense as after it, because even though Cena like has gone mainstream like The Rock, he's still
You're right.
He's still like a wrestler.
I think it probably is John Cena. I didn't even think about that. Because like this whole new generation, John Cena's definitely their GOAT. Because he is like, I don't know.
Now I think if The Rock had came back and forth a little bit more at first, he would have been kind of in that same category of what he did as a wrestler and a star outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
But The Rock, it's almost like, here's his time as a wrestler, now he's a movie star, and there wasn't much.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock says, know your role, shut your damn mouth.
It's bad. We're gonna start like there's probably movies already out there where people are just like, do the eyebrow thing. It's like, you don't even know it's called the people's eyebrow.
Like, I don't do that.
Oh,
hey, I got him famous. An eyebrow.
I just realized one thing I had to change setting wise, so I'm kind of happy it didn't like go yet.
That we didn't go.
I need to maximize the Discord window so that way it maximized your camera to fit the screen how it's supposed to.
Uh-huh. Maximize before we go.
Maximize prime.
Excuse me. Uh,
What sucks is I've been watching some videos and I saw another one that says you need to plan out your videos. I'm like, you realize how impossible that is for us to do when we hop on right after the show?
yeah. Somebody said we should plan out our videos.
No, not like a comment to us, just like watching videos in general about being a YouTuber. They're like, you need to plan what it is and then make your thumbnail to match it. Like, you have to have a plan to your videos. But that's for people doing a completely different type of content.
Yeah, we ain't doing it.
All right.
We just got pure wrestling content.
I think I have something really, really stupid. It's going to go either really bad or really good, but I kind of know how to start.
Is it going to be pure wrestling content?
No, but I'm also happy because I just did not hit start recording yet. Now I hit start recording. This was almost a really bad time.
Now it's pure wrestling content. We are going to wrestle some babies. That's right. They're going to be really buff babies, but we're going to wrestle them. Pure wrestling content.
Or, if you're Bryan Danielson's mother, you might get physical with a goat. According to MJF.
Pure wrestling content, either way.
Because it's Wednesday night and you know what that means. We had another episode of AEW Dynamite. Wait, not just another, but the first of the new year. The first with the new look.
Jeopardy. I should have waited for the this is.
I get to it. I'll have to remember to cut this up a little bit, but I'm gonna have to see if I can download a quick soundbite of that to put over there and then cut out this conversation part.
The commentary table looks like it looks like the Jeopardy stage.
It really did.
Why are they doing this? And then they got 3 contestants, really? Come on.
But do they all have their name written on the front of the table though?
Oh, they got to do that next episode.
But
they might as well.
But I'm just saying, that guy over there.
I'm range of motion.
And we are Top Rope Tokes, here to talk about AEW Dynamite. And since we already talked about Danielson and his goat-loving mother,
good God,
might as well jump into that, because this was one of the first big pops of the night, was when Danielson was taking on Tony Nese.
Oh, yeah, that was insane. The crowd just went nuts no matter what he did. Like, if he stood there, yes.
And they tried to make it interesting right off the bat by letting Tony Nese get some quick offense and try to get a quick win, but
no,
not happening.
Not happening at all.
What? He got like a minute of offense.
Yeah.
3 minutes later, the match was over.
Yeah, the crowd probably wouldn't have been able to handle more than like 3 minutes, because they were screaming yes the whole match. It was just the match was just a long yes chant, pretty much.
I will say, the crowd, and not even just for the hometown people, like Danielson and Darby and Swerve, the crowd was good. Like, the whole night, like, they were going off during the opener with Starks and Jericho, too.
Yeah.
Good crowd, yeah. Seattle. Good crowd.
Good crowd. I mean, they gave them a whole lot of hometown stuff to be happy about, too. But
see, yeah. I would say the real test is Rampage. But Rampage isn't the same this week.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Rampage is going to be so difficult. It's so difficult.
But after Knees got some
Anyways,
quick offense in, he went to go for another running knee in the corner, this time with his knee pad down. But Danielson's able to get out of the way, which led to Bizarro knee stomps and then passing out in a submission, which I'm not sure if it was supposed to be the Regal stretch. Might have been.
yeah, it was the Bryan Danielson version.
But
We'll just call it that.
he wasn't in it long because, he was already out cold from the Danielson stomps.
Yeah, he was sleeping in and stuff, taking a nap.
But of course, he's at home. He had a quick match. And he's currently trying to feud with AEW World Champion. So, of course, Danielson had to grab the mic after. Speak to his home state crowd.
He was like, fight me.
I mean, it wasn't really much to it. He was like, great to be home. He's feeling froggy. He wants another fight. Calls out MJF for his contractually obligated appearance.
There we go. Perfect. MJF can kill two birds with one stone here. So he comes out.
Yeah, because if it wasn't then, it's like, all right, if I don't do it now, I gotta go out there and just bullshit my way through something later. So
Yeah. So he comes out to oblige brain damage Brian. And that was when that whole goat thing came out.
There was a whole lot of things said from this point. I quit trying to take notes because I was going to end up having to put too much.
Yeah, there was nuts. There was he said Bryan Danielson looks like a goat, first of all.
Doesn't make him the goat.
He is the goat. He looks like a goat. And that shit is funny as fuck because they had the camera on Danielson. And I was like, yeah, he looks like a bearded goat.
Oh, it's had the nickname in the ring joke for a long time, so it works. But
yeah, like that's good.
MJF doesn't say it, but he alludes to it, saying it would make sense considering like all these women here in Seattle. Mom tried to find a male suitor and couldn't find a single one, so I'm kind of alluding to the fact that brain damaged Brian might come from a little bestiality.
Yeah, his mom's into goats and stuff.
This little back and forth between them was not anything like what I imagined it would be.
Yeah, it was real childish, but I enjoyed it.
Because Danielson came back and he later even acknowledged that, yeah, I made a mom joke, so what? Comes back and says, that's funny, MJF, because all the boys in the back, we talk about how many suitors that your mother's had, and just starts talking about people in the crowd, possibly being one of them. Says,
yeah, he was like, how many people in the crowd? And then they go nuts. So I'm assuming most of the crowd has been a suitor of MJF's mom. But MJF got him back when he said that Disco Inferno was top 3.
So back to the GOAT comment, he's like, he actually is the greatest in the business because he has people putting him over like
Disco Inferno.
Was the first name he dropped, and at that point I have no idea where this is going.
I don't even remember who else he said.
Eric Bischoff was number 2.
Yeah. And Jim Cornette. Yeah.
With a smug ass smile on his face when he got to talk about Jim Cornette.
But Disco Inferno, though.
I have something to tell you off air because it I would say like a political comparison as to why those three are all paired together.
Yeah.
So MJF isn't going to do the whole I'm gonna pick 5 people and then you get to fight me thing. No, instead he says, I talked to that nerd backstage, Tony Khan, crunch some numbers, and he says, if you were to wrestle on Dynamite every single week through February 8th and win every single match, you would be number one contender. I have a question for you, though. Rankings restart in the new year, correct?
I guess.
They're supposed to. This was the first Dynamite of the year. Only a handful of people are going to have singles matches after the end of this week, so technically, wouldn't he have a leg up on a lot of people?
Yes.
I mean, they're still going to consider last year, but as far as this year's go, he is the number one contender.
I'd say so.
Guess you could argue a few other people. We'll get to those matches as they come. Danielson, after originally not going with it, does end up deciding after MJF throws a little fit that he'll accept this stipulation as long as he gets to pick the stipulation for Revolution. So we know February 8th is going to be some kind of big Dynamite. Has to be.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a big show. Maybe something along the lines of what we're getting next week, because next week has like a baby pay-per-view card.
Yeah, thankfully they finally addressed a certain something for next week, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But what match did Bryan Danielson want? I feel like there was only like about 2 options that it could be.
Yeah. He said he wants an hour-long Iron Man match. Hell yeah.
My first thought was it was going to be a submission match. Something along those lines. But I was like, that's not even super favorable to him because MJF does have a submission finisher. But Iron Man was the only other thing off the top of my head that I was like, all right, this is not going to be like a no DQ. This isn't going to be a cage. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be something wrestling related, like a Pure Rules in Ring of Honor or something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was thinking along the lines of no DQ since MJF likes to cheat, or Iron Man and no DQ were my only thoughts.
I haven't seen anyone ever offer up a submission match in a long time, so I was like, that would make sense for Danielson's character, and especially talking about being the best professional wrestler, make it a wrestling style match. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that would be smart. But an Iron Man match, though, would be dope.
My only concern about this isn't what you had said about worried about the card even being longer, because I think they will, account for that. My issue is the fact that those pay-per-views are so jam-packed and like 5 hours long. Having an hour-long Iron Man match go on last, it might be a little bit hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a nap that day and try to make sure I get that Monday off.
It's gonna be one of those ones where it's like easily enough to leave immediately after and turn around and go home and pass out, because it's gonna be on a Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Yep, our pay-per-views are gonna be Sundays from here on, fortunately. Juice.
Speaking of unfortunate scheduling, I'm going to take a moment to talk about something we talked briefly about earlier. We are not going live after Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, sorry guys. We old and we tired, and after working all that day and not being able to start the show until at least midnight, it's not going to be a good show. And for the sake of putting out good content for you guys, we can't.
We know what it was like last time. We were sleepy through that bitch.
Yeah.
I
don't even remember that show.
I am going to try and see if I can find some information to be able to log in and watch it on my computer. And if we are able to do so, we are looking into just doing a watch along with everybody. So keep that in mind if you're catching this later, because it won't be in a clip. But also, if you're watching this later, don't forget to go down below, hit subscribe, like, comment, engage with us. But also, in our clips, there's always a link for Discord. Come on in, talk wrestling with us.
Yeah, because we like to talk about wrestling and stuff. It's fun.
We do, and I'm imagining probably tomorrow night, even though we'll be editing videos for, I'll be editing videos for this and other stuff. I have a feeling at some point tomorrow we're going to be in the Discord chatting about certain things for Wrestle Kingdom, because I'm going to find a way to watch it tomorrow, or at least a match or two.
You see, yeah, there's a couple matches that I need to see out of that. So yeah.
Everyone can retire for the rest of the year. We already have a match of the year, apparently.
All right. Wait till FTR gets a full length match.
Not actually sure where their route's going, but speaking of FTR, Bass Boys held a little bit of a eulogy for him.
Yeah. FT rip.
I will say, having 3 letters, not even a word, it does kind of make it nice that you could try to fit your name into things like that, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, the FT rip on the screen. Yeah.
Austin,
rest in peace.
Austin looking like a small child wearing his really big father's coat, because that shit was oversized as all hell.
Yeah, and his pants were too little. That was interesting.
Out there shaped like Dr. Robotnik or something. But
yeah, but they claim that they cost FTR all their belts, and they were like doing this in mocking fashion, as in like, oh boo-hoo, we made them lose all their belts. And
I mean, there was a couple things Colton said, like they called themselves 7 stars FTR, but you're always 10 stars to me. So I mean, in some ways, he kind of played into like, hey, we looked up to you kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, his brother over there in Austin always has been a much different story.
Yeah, completely mocking him. That was good though.
Austin said their old dad bods just couldn't handle it anymore.
Poor dad bods.
They lost all the belts and they started a podcast that nobody listens to. Did the whole fake out with the entrance because, FTR was literally in Japan.
Yeah. 24 hours ago.
Not even. I'm like, there's math involved and I don't want to do it.
I'm going to say, less than 24 hours ago, they were in Japan, so they're definitely not appearing.
Mm-hmm. But Austin says FTR can work in any promotion, but they'll never work in AEW again. Now, he put some emphasis on any promotion the second time he said it. And a lot of people suspect that FTR might be a kind of talent that would go back. So I wonder if he was if that emphaticness on that second time around was in regards to those rumors and conversations.
I wasn't paying that much attention to what they were saying.
Yeah. I think the internet just tries to start too much shit and it creates buzz, which is always nice because you can play into it, but
yeah. Huh. That would be interesting. I would hope that they don't go with, because they're not going to get to put on good matches anymore.
The other side's gotten a lot better about that, but speaking of tag teams,
Yeah,
The newest, greatest tag team that's only going to appear for one night was announced tonight. Because Jungle Boy wants Big Bill. I hate saying it. I still hate saying it.
Big Bill.
It's better than Warjo. It's better than Warjo. That's why I just have to keep telling myself.
Better than Warjo for sure.
But yeah, he in his hometown with Hook versus Big Bill and Lee Moriarty next week.
Yeah.
For one night only. He even says it that way. So I really hope it is a one night only thing and they can, because I don't know, Hook and Jungle Boy just isn't gonna, like, more than once. I probably don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Either
I think it's just to put something that people will want to see next week.
I wonder if Jungle Boy's going to take the loss. No, because he's at home. But they have a bunch of hometown people, like the ladder match for the trios titles.
Yeah. Yeah, Bucks. I mean, yeah, there's going to be that.
Because we know Hook isn't taking the pin.
Yeah. He's undefeated. He's Goldberg. And you don't even know him. You don't even know.
I hate it because if he really was to be a Goldberg style, that'd be 3 Goldbergs in AEW.
Yeah.
One just happens to be a female who towers over.
So yeah,
everybody.
he's just Hook, like you said, he's like early WWE Taz, like while he was working his way up the card, and he was just squashing everybody.
Just as his choice of accessory, as opposed to a towel over his head, is a bag of chips.
Yeah,
you know,
and the hood. You know, he leaves his hood on.
He always had his backpack early on too, but now we've got to see him in his ring gear and stuff on a more regular basis, as opposed to just hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, backpacks. Now Orange Cassidy's carrying backpacks.
That'd be an interesting conversation. Try to see Hook go up to Orange Cassidy and be like, "You stole my gimmick."
Oh, that'd be it. Unify the belts. Get rid of the FTW belt.
Speaking of Goldberg type wrestlers, Jade was in action tonight.
Oh yeah, she was. Jade.
Teaming up with Red Velvet to continue on their story with Kiera Hogan, who's randomly partnered up with Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Just because Blue.
Blue versus Red Dog.
Yeah, actually the gear was that way. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so, you know, it was just a blood versus Crips kind of thing going on here.
Damn it, AEW, quit promoting gang warfare, especially right before you go to California.
Yeah, see, maybe that's why they did that this week, so that way they don't do it in LA. Because, you know, you don't want to be repping, you don't want to be wearing those colors in LA.
Watch, we witness next week, not a single person wears red or blue.
I'm gonna be looking out for it now. Like, but then what happens if Sky Blue comes out?
Sorry, Sky Blue, you are not on the card to California.
Damn.
Especially between you and Red Velvet having the colors in your name. Sorry, nope, off TV.
The red, oh yeah, dude. When the match started with those two in the ring, by the way, dope.
A lot. When you're talking about as it happened, it was a lot
Mhm.
crisper than I was expecting. Like, we've seen great development by some people over their time in AEW, AEW, in case I slipped there. Uh, like Jade, for one, we've talked complimentary about how much we've seen in terms of improvement with Jade. Like 2 weeks ago, we talked about it with Sky Blue. Red Velvet's been off TV for a while, but I remember when she first got there versus what she became later on down the road, which I am so happy she's back in the ring.
Yeah, I love it. And she looks good in the ring. Like,
My biggest thing is, you know how you said when you first saw Jade, like instantly you knew?
uh-huh.
Red Velvet, the first time, and I'd not seen her on Independence or anything because I wasn't really going to the shows like we have this year, or paid as much attention. But the first time she ever walked out on AEW TV, she did her little taunts and everything, and like right off the bat, it was just one of those situations before I even saw her in the ring. She has that charisma that you can't teach.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and she looked really crisp in the ring too today. So, hey, I think this whole feud's gonna be cool with Kiera and Red Velvet splitting from the baddies.
Now I wonder who's gonna be the main person to get the comeuppance towards Jade, or at least try. Because you figure one
Mm,
of either her or Kira have to be the focal point.
yeah.
It's not going to be a 2-on-1 hand. I mean, I guess you could do tag team with Layla,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I'm gonna
eventually
say
there's
yeah,
going to be a 1-on-1.
yeah, who's gonna get that one-on-one first? Who's gonna get that that win? Or
If
or yeah, whoever's gonna get that chance. I don't know which one
I,
it'll be.
I think it might be Red, especially after how tonight's match went. Because one, Kira just lost to Jade,
Yeah.
but two, Red Velvet kind of left Jade in a 2-on-1 situation tonight, and she still ragdolled Kira Hogan. So
Good point. Very fair point there.
uh, so Jade hits this like reverse power slam on Kira that she did not land flat on her back. And I was like, ooh, that was so close to being perfect, but also just as close to being terribly bad. But it was a move I don't think we've seen her really do before.
She's up in her arsenal. Let's go, Jade.
She mastered the pump kick, and now it's on to the next move.
Mm-hmm. Hey, watch. Just real soon, she's gonna be good. Like all around.
And that's going to be when she finally drops the belt.
Yep.
Because then it's going to be like,
'Cause-
okay, now you get to go away for a little bit.
yeah.
Just to kind of absence make the heart go fonder, bigger pop. Come back in a few months and we'll get you going towards that world title.
Right. I want to see it. I'm loving the progress. I'm loving the progress. I love the progress of everyone in this match here.
So,
The fact that we saw these four on Dynamite was
so many favorite people.
progress. Yeah. Because usually these are like, well, other than obviously Jade's not, but the other three are more like dark elevation matches usually.
And the thing is we're getting a slow burn story, which is going to be nice. Because we haven't really seen a ton of really good stories with the women's, and I kind of feel like they're failing Jamie Hayter as their top champion with that. By now, the big story surrounding Jamie Hayter is Soraya, Tony Storm, and the fact that I think Sheeta's going to whoop somebody's ass soon.
That's yeah. So Jamie is kind of getting the same treatment as the last two women's champions did. they're not giving us a reason to care about her as a champion or hate her. Like, they're not giving us a reason to feel either way.
I hope that after that match next week, we can get towards whatever the next story for her as a solo, as the champion is. But
yeah.
Back to this story, it's after that power slam, Jade hooks Kira's arms like she's about to hit Jaded, but drags her over to the corner and does the most disrespectful tag to her own tag team partner. Just patting her on the head, saying like, come finish off your friend. And Red was not happy about it.
Sorry, Red. Yeah, Red was like, nah, I'm out.
Not yet, because when...
Oh, yeah, that was...
She ended up having to do it again with the choke slam. And this time, Red dipped out and said, nope.
I love it.
Allow Kira to get a slight burst of offense, but then it was pump kick, game over.
Yeah. I love that Jade is using that pump kick so much more now, dog.
I mean,
she got it. No,
she got to the point where, because sometimes early on she would hit Jaded, it would look very awkward. That doesn't really happen anymore. But the pump kick looks better than Jaded. Chokeslam looks nice. If he does this reverse power slam and gets that down, that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, but yeah, for right now, I definitely like the pump kick. Yeah, I'm with it. And then, soon we can just throw that in as a signature kind of thing.
Yeah, it should be one of those things that can win their matches on like YouTube.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the pay-per-view championship matches and stuff, no.
Yeah.
But
agreements.
So basically what happened, before the Tony Saraya and Sheeta interview, you had one with DMD and Hater where they just basically go, Sarah doesn't understand what AEW means to them and what they mean to AEW as originals and how they had to build everything up. Doesn't know what Sarah's taking so long because she has all these great options and doesn't know why she's looking around. Points out that Jamie's the champ and Britt, she's the boss around here, but she emphasizes the boss because of Sasha Banks. About the only thing we've ever seen them actually do hinting towards Sasha, even like a reference, but that was it, and it explains why, because finally later, as we talked about last week, they tell us who the partner is.
Yeah, because we said it, like, if they didn't tell us who the partner was this week and it wasn't Sasha or Mercedes Monet, or I think is it something Mercedes
Monet.
Yeah. Like we said, if it wasn't her, then they have to tell us this week, because people will riot next week if it wasn't.
And also because we talked about it, like the story, like when the match first got announced, if the story was going to be about who she picks out of those people, then there should have been a story building about who she's going to pick between those people. Didn't really happen, but they finally kicked it off this week because she just outright turns to Tony and tells her, you're going to be my tag team partner. And she does like, what the fuck?
Yeah. She's just like, dog, come on. You didn't see what I just did last week?
Sawyer doesn't even look her way another single time during this little interview. She just has like a little powwow with Tony in their seats. Like, do you want to talk about strategy, plans? What are we gonna do? All that. And she was just sitting there out in the cold, Soraya's going to get some kendo sticks soon.
They're gonna win.
That's fine. But Soraya's going to get some kendo sticks from Sheeta at some point soon.
I hope so. Duh.
It might be Tony, though. Sheeta might get Tony, and then Jamie might get Soraya. That might be how it splits off. And I have no idea what the fuck Britt's gonna do, so.
I think Tony Storm should go heel. Because I think I'd like her as a heel.
She might get a crowd reaction as a heel.
Yeah.
I feel so bad harping on it still, but I'm like, come on. Basically, from the point, the week after Thunder Rosa won it from Britt, when she got to celebrate, after that, all the way up until Jamie won, the women's champion was usually like the least popular person in the match.
Real rough. See for her.
I mean, we got to enjoy it because we got to talk about Willow being more over than the women's champion for a while.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even the all elite officially at that point.
Yeah, she was just there. And everybody was like, we want Willow. Yay, Tony. It's so sad. But hell yeah, next week, Soraya, Tony Storm.
Speaking of
BND.
Tony, but not that same Tony.
Jamie.
And next week, Tony Schiavone had a little interview with Hangman Adam Page talking about his health status and how they hinted towards next week being the week. Honestly, the way that they came together to try to use this injury as like story, it kind of feels silly the way they've like laid it out. But hey, it's wrestling. Sometimes just give us the roadmap and whatever else. Get us to the match.
Yeah. Yeah. They've kind of done this story like one too many times. I feel like. And very recently.
However, we never had anyone say on TV, where's that stupid line?
That Hangman is gonna knock Mox's dick in the dirt. That's some old football talk right there.
Like,
put two hands on him and knock his dick in the dirt. Like, huh?
yeah, it was. Did not expect it, but he basically just says he's still not cleared. He's gonna fly out right after the show, so he doesn't get into another fight and push back his readiness by another week. So that way he can be cleared. They even look at the doctor and kind of get like a nod to confirm, like, yeah, if you don't get into the fight, you'll be cleared next week. I'm pretty sure that's not how getting medically cleared works. But Mox eventually comes out. Mox's promo is only more awkward than normal because of the fact that he can't get a good working microphone. I was kind of hoping that the fans were chanting, "We can't hear you," because they were so loud that they drowned him out, but that wasn't the case. He just didn't have a working mic.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
See, if I was in the crowd, it'd be one of those childish things going like, "La la la, I can't hear you because I don't want to hear you talk."
Yeah, today he was out of line. He said, "Go Seahawks." Fuck you, Mox.
Yeah, eat
bitch.
Dick.
No, go Rams. I mean, Lions.
I didn't know if
La
this was
Lions.
true, but I heard they might have a starting quarterback coming back this week.
Let's go, La Lions.
Woo.
Fuck Mox. Go Hangman. But yeah. I don't know. Mox was real condescending here about Hangman's whole recovery. Like, oh, I've been pretty much dead 65,000 times.
It pretty much just sounded like he was jealous and having jealous of the pity party that Hangman's getting, like that people care about his health and nobody cares about Moxley's.
Yeah. What about me? What about Moxley?
That actually works. Think of the sympathy. Hangman ends up saying, like, do you think I'm mad because you knocked me out? No, I'm mad because when I returned, the first thing you did was crack a joke, which to me echoes exactly what you said about just being a condescending bastard.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he was doing. He's like, yeah, I know about a lariat. And he's like, I got 2 in the chamber.
Mm-hmm. Like he appreciated that kick coming from a lariat, a simple but brutal, effective move.
Mm-hmm.
There's I mean, what's his finisher? Range.
Buckshot lariat.
And
he's got 2 in the chamber.
Yeah, and it's a hard move to pull off her. Considering, we saw CM Punk try to do it multiple times and fail.
That was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Hey, y'all roll with that momentum and get it.
Mm-hmm. No, he can do it though.
I still hate it. I still wish it was the Deadite.
Yeah, I kind of like that better.
I like the ability.
Not kinda. I do definitely like it better.
I like the surprise factor of when you can have a quick move that could kind of end the match, like your super kicks and different things like that you can hit out of nowhere, where you kind of, hop to your feet, gas, like, oh my god. Like, the other stuff's like cool too. The rock bottom before the people elbow became, because at one part they were kind of like on par with each other.
Right. Yeah, he would finish either or, and then eventually it was just like, nah, rock bottom only sets up the people's elbow.
Mm-hmm. I like having it kind of like when Orange Cassidy goes for an orange punch, but beach break. I like better.
I mean, it's a pile driver.
Honestly, it's almost the exact same.
Are dope.
It's almost the exact same thing. You just tuck them into the legs. It's like the big difference on the Deadeye. I think Britt does the air raid crash, which is like only slightly different as well. But you land massively different with those two. That's probably the big difference, because at least the Deadeye you drop straight down to your knees versus the other one it's more to the side.
I can't remember which ones are which.
I think beach break, when he holds them up, like he's off to the side of his legs and like down to his hip, versus like the Deadeye is more just like a reverse tombstone.
Yeah. You're right.
To open up tonight's AEW Dynamite, we had Judas.
Dynamite.
Judas hit the speakers. The crowd went crazy. He came out with only Daddy Magic and Cool Hand. But versus Ricky Starks. I think they fucked up his production on his entrance. Because he had like a very short, like 3-second, like full screen video, and then it went to his entrance, but you still saw him walking out. Usually, like, they're paired together in a very smooth transition. Not so much tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't paying too much attention to his entrance.
I just it caught my interest because of the fact that it went to a video package, and we've seen him do some like very nice like intros to his entrance, but usually, you know, like his the ones that always remind me of like cologne commercials.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I I turned it on during his entrance so that I wouldn't have saw it. That's why.
But it doesn't really matter. It's just you know, obviously they were running a lot of new production stuff tonight with their Jeopardy set and a new guy in charge of their cuts and angles and stuff like that. You could notice a difference. Even like that, some of the camera work and stuff like that, you could definitely notice a difference tonight. Ricky
it's
Starks,
time for Final Jeopardy.
Ricky Starks almost broke one of our biggest rules about Chris Jericho matches. He almost lost in the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah.
The Boston Crab.
You don't lose to the Walls of Jericho. It looked like he was going to. I mean, was that Daddy Magic that hit him?
Yep. Cool Hand distracted the ref on the other side of the ring.
Cool Hand distracted the ref. Daddy Magic hits him with it looked like the hammer that Pac uses.
He did the baseball bat thing, but he hit him like it was like a sledgehammer in WWE.
Okay, that's why. Okay.
So it's kind of awkward in the beginning because it's usually Jericho has him in a submission move. Why would his own guys like distract the ref? That's not usually how that goes, but it made sense real quick.
Yeah, smart move. Good idea.
I mean, you have the guy kind of locked in something, so you have control over him, and you have the extra helper at ringside. Easy chance to take one extra shot. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't usually see it.
Yeah, and then they did something that I've never seen in AEW before. Never have I seen. Yeah.
One hand drop.
I've never seen that in AEW before. Ricky, his hand wakes up as it hits the mat, so obviously that should have been a victory for Jericho, but hey, we're gonna let it go because I've never seen them do this in AEW.
Yeah, they usually take a much more MMA style like submission things, like, oh, like your eyes are closed, you're not responding, call for the bell.
That's more realistic to me. It's like,
I like it for that reason.
You're not about to wake back up when you're in a sleeper hold. Come on now.
Because what's the percentage of submissions in old school wrestling where if they drop the arm 3 times, how many times did the arm actually drop 3 times?
Oh, like almost never.
Yeah, like what, 0.001%?
Yeah.
That'd be like what, like 1 in 100,000 or some shit? I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, it was very rare. The only person whose matches that used to happen inconsistently were Scott Steiner's in his like late WCW days when he just did the what was that? What was his lock called?
The Steiner recliner.
Yeah, the Steiner recliner. Yeah, when he was using the Steiner recliners, people were going to sleep a whole lot.
So
that's the only time I can remember.
Yeah, everything else, you know, takes me back to the more old school wrestling.
Yeah.
But anyway, shortly after this, because he gets up, Ricky's able to win with the spear. Out comes the rest of Jericho Appreciation Society to attack.
all
before
the jazz dudes.
before Two-Faced Action Andretti shows up, sporting some burn marks on his face with the chair. Somehow is able to clear out all of JAS at first, or at least it seems like it.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he cleared out all the jazz dudes. He just couldn't handle the jazz ladies.
He didn't know what to do when Anna grabbed that chair.
Too much jazz. Too much jazz. Da, 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 da.
She grabs a chair and he's holding it on the other end. He's just kind of like, well, I can't hit you, so what the hell do I do? And then gets hit with the low blow from behind from
I was like, I'll answer that for you. This is what you'll do. You'll lose this fight now.
She's like, oh, you don't want to hit a woman? Do you have no balls? Let me check with this uppercut.
Mm-hmm. She found him. I think he has balls. Or at least he pretended like he had balls. If he doesn't.
But this all ends up leading to Hager being on the apron, a table being set up at ringside, and they assist him in lifting up Ricky over the top ropes and set him up for a powerbomb, and he gets powerbombed from the ring apron to the floor through a table. And Hager lost his purple hat for half a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was almost not Hat Hager for a while there, and I hated it for a split second.
We saw his hair for 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be Hat Hager. I think he needs to just change his name to Hat Hager. Yep, Hat Hager. That's it. Official name change, Hat Hager.
Well, if his name was like Pat Hager, and that just became, it just rhymed and it worked.
Yep. At the Hat Hager.
My only disappointment was when he got handed back his hat and he put it back on. They're zoomed out so far from like on the hard cam just to show the whole ring area and the wreckage and the whole group.
Yeah, they should have got him putting the hat back on.
I mean, you got to see it, but we didn't get to hear him yell, "I like this hat. I love this hat." Whatever he wants to say.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't get to do the thing. Or at least the thing so that we could hear it. The crowd probably heard. Or at least the first rows. They probably heard it.
I have a wrestling question for you, Range.
Yes, I am the best.
There's no company with this name anymore. They're known as Impact Wrestling, but they used to be called TNA. What did TNA stand for?
Total nonstop acclaimed.
TNA on Wednesday night on TBS. Acclaimed every Wednesday. It just all works.
Yeah, everything is acclaimed, man.
Did you really catch anything else major? Because I've already forgotten any other lines from this.
Nope. I just remember that TNA stands for Total Nonstop Acclaimed.
Oh. Jeff Jarrett's going to take an L and blame it on Dixie Carter again. It was something along those lines in there. It was just funny because they're dogging them for TNA. The same thing that they just used to put themselves over.
TNA.
They wrestled for a while.
This match was kind of a snooze fest.
I mean, I kind of expect that to happen when one of the competitors is... There's not too many competitors I expect to put on a really exciting match in their 50s. Yeah. Like, Singh is in his 60s, and his excitement comes from, like, the little spot bursts that he does, not the fact that he can wrestle.
Right. Speaking of old men, Daddy Ass got banned from ringside.
Yeah. They said, because I know it was Lethal, and it looked like he grabbed Lethal trying to get in the ring. I'm assuming Lethal tried to antagonize him or something. But they were like, smart veteran move to get him kicked off from ringside.
Mm. So, yeah, you didn't want daddy ass around. Now you got like, nobody can deal with Satnam Singh.
See, what I think it really was Jeff Jarrett was jealous. He was mad because Jeff Jarrett interrupted the first scissors between the Acclaimed. Then they got rid of him with Sesame Timbers, and they went to do it again, and Daddy Ass got in the ring and did the Jeff Jarrett strut.
Oh my gosh, they let him get away with so much. Because like, even after all of that, he still hadn't been banned from ringside yet.
Yeah, because the whole Lethal and like playing a trick again happened like right after this, and they got rid of him. I cannot remember for the life of me how the ref got distracted or what. Oh, this was all part when Satnam threw Max into the steps, and they had to bring out like 7 refs to try to kick out Satnam.
Yeah. Yeah, they brought every ref out the back to kick Satnam out.
Gave them all middle fingers, and I swear his hands are bigger than most of those refs' heads that were in front of him.
This dude's got some big ass hands.
I think like Bryce
easily threw them all away.
I think Bryce was like one of the closest refs in like frame, and I swear his head would not even reach Satnam's nipples.
No, because Bryce is the little dude, right?
Yeah, he's probably close to like my height.
Yeah, that little guy.
I'll go tweet at Bryce after, be like, "Hey, how tall are you?" if it's not on Google. But this allows Double J to hit the stroke on Bowens, which he's a legal man in the match. I don't think you really need like the big distraction.
It was to distract Bowen, not the ref.
I think it was just a stupid thing to do just to find a way to have other refs out there because of the end of the match. So that way. Because Lethal pins Bowen. Bowens gets his foot on the ropes, but Dutt throws it off. New tag team champions. But then because all those refs are out there, Aubrey's able to be like, fuck no, he got his foot on the ropes. Restart the match. Or continue the match.
That little ending, well, almost ending spot there where Bowens countered that lethal interjection. I always say interjection.
Like that elbow or whatever he did.
Yeah, the lethal injection with that rolling elbow. I thought that was pretty dope right in there. But then, yeah, Jeff Jarrett hit that stroke. And they cheated.
I think he needs to change the name of that move after all these years because you got Stroke Daddy Ricky Starks on the card. But
please tell me he's not gonna try and call himself Stroke Daddy.
I mean, he did it. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, just one time. Yeah, just one time.
Well, I found out.
Never again, please.
I think he's done it before, but I don't know if he's done it on TV. Because the whole RJ City hate EW thing that he does. I think I sent you the Willow one, right?
Yeah.
He did one with Hobbs and Ricky, like from months and months and months ago, before they split, and he referenced it in there too. So it might just be more of a backstage and not too much on TV.
Don't be Stroke Daddy on TV.
But
Ricky.
Immediately after this match restarts, Jay Lethal goes to try to cheat to win again. You know, rolling up Bowens and trying to use... Did he have the tights or did he grab the ropes for leverage?
He had the ropes. Yes, the ropes.
Because Max pushed him off.
And then... Because he did the tights at some point too. That might have been earlier on.
Yeah, they have no
But
opposition to
yeah,
cheating.
they pretty much tried to cheat the whole match. And they still ain't gonna win.
I mean, Lethal, maybe you should find yourself a tag team partner who's, under the age of 40, who's actually a really good wrestler. And if they can talk, that's probably a good thing too. Because, I mean, Dutt's cool, but Satnam's not doing the talking. You aren't doing much of the talking. And Dutt's only going to get you so far.
Yeah, he's just too goofy.
Max pushes off the cheating roll up. Bones is able to pin Jay Lethal, and they get the win and retain. But it's not over yet.
Nope. There was that interview later on. There wasn't really anything to care about in the talking here. But rematch, Battle of the Belts, no holds barred.
Yep, that's really it. So now we know the card because there's that Kip versus Orange Cassidy, and son of a bitch, we just had the show and I already forgot. Oh, Jade versus Sky Blue. Don't know why.
Just because everybody gets a chance.
I mean, in the end, Jade literally just beat Sky in a tag team with somebody else in like a handicap match at the end, and they're gonna do it. So
you gotta give everybody a shot, man. It's gonna be different when it's solo. It really is, weirdly. It's gonna be like, oh, Sky Blue is doing stuff that actually hurts Jade now, even though she got beat up with her and Kiera Hogan last week. Or 2 days ago.
stupid Battle of the Belts starting at 11 p.m.
Oh. Are we gonna see a belt change hands?
Not Jade's.
No, definitely not. That would be nuts.
I could see Kip winning.
Okay. But I still think Orange Cassidy's gonna win.
I think Kip winning is more likely than the Acclaim losing their belts.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, we talked about earlier, I don't know why they would force this in for Battle of the Belts between these two tag teams.
I wonder if they just didn't have anything else.
Like, how can we quickly set up a third match for Friday? Just have a fucked
can
up
you guys
ending.
go again? Yeah. You guys go again.
Taking a look, we covered Jericho and Starks, we covered Hangman segment, we covered the Acclaim match, we covered the Hater and DMD, covered Jungle Boy and Hook, Nice versus Danielson. So that's one part. Alright, so it's the main event. But really, tonight we had a match that was supposed to happen last week between AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. I'm kind of happy they did Wheeler first, only because of the fact that this match was so much better. I mean, been watching wrestling for a long time. You took a break from a while. AR Fox is still managing to do things that I've never seen before.
Yeah, I love AR Fox. How is he's never been signed by anyone before?
So I mean, we have a little bit of the reason. He's a smaller guy, so he, WWE wouldn't have looked at him for the longest time, right?
True.
So we kind of understand that aspect because especially, the aughts and probably early 20 teens, 2010s, whatever you want to call that decade. Like WWE was basically, if you're not at least 6 foot whatever and muscular, goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, AR Fox is like, I don't know. He was like wrestling his hidden gem or something. He was just hiding somewhere, wrestling in some kind of indie promotion that I have never heard of or something.
Training people and stuff, because they talked a lot about, you know, his relationship with Swerve and how they know each other so well, countering each other's very agile, very quick moves with other very agile, very quick moves.
So what? How many somersaults were in this match? What's the what do you how many you got?
If I had to take a guess, that number is probably close to 10.
Okay.
That
So,
might be
yeah.
shooting high, but the fact that I remember at least like 3 or 4, and that's just what I remember.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I remember at least like 4 off the top of my head. There was a lot of somersaults.
The best way that I can explain this match would be like when you and I talk about the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks, or the Lucha Bros versus Top Flight, or like those combinations of people that, because there's so many people and they move so fast, you cannot call or even know what the heck is going on. But this is one-on-one.
And this was like, this was just 2 guys. There was no tagging, none of that. They just kept up that intensity, like that action, that speed the whole match. It was so hard to take notes on a one-on-one match for the first time ever.
I mean, there's 2 spots that I really remember like looking at going like, hell did I just see?
I know one is in the beginning when they flipped out the ring.
No, because I've seen a lot of that before.
Okay.
Like where Swerve does like the handstand on the apron, then down to the floor.
Yeah.
And AR does the arm tie thing where he just flips over the ropes and lands on the apron.
Yep.
No, it was when AR was on the apron and Swerve was in the ring, on the ground, not even standing up. And AR dives through the ropes back into the ring, does a somersault kind of thing, and is able to just smoothly grab him in a front face lock, get back to their feet together, and do a corkscrew suplex.
Yeah.
That should not be that smooth. I don't see how it's possible.
That was a brain buster.
Because he kind of did call it a brain buster, because he didn't even like, they corkscrewed and they did that turn thing.
Yeah, just the camera didn't catch the brain busty part too well, but yeah, it was a brain buster. That was a dope spot.
So that being said, because you haven't said yours and I already know what mine is, and it's in the main event, is your hit of the night going to be in this match? I'm just going to, because with the lack of notes and everything else, I'm just going to put the graphic up right now and let you have a go.
Yeah. Dog. That Death Valley driver, the Swerve hits on AR Fox. Dog. AR Fox, I know you're not a young dude, because I can tell you're at least like over 30s, like in your 30s. But so taking this bump, oh my god. Swerve hits a Death Valley driver off the top rope.
Through the ring
onto
apron.
the ring apron. That shit looked like it hurt.
A lot of times when you see those ring apron moves are usually from both guys standing on the ring apron, or one guy's on the ground, like the powerbomb onto the apron, or that really ugly chokeslam that we saw by Big Bill and Jungle Boy. You don't see them usually coming down from like 8 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
That was nasty.
So that led to the end with the swerve stomps right after. But there's one other thing, and I do not know how to describe this. AR Fox like was in the corner with Swerve. I forgot how he gets there, but he like lays Swerve out on the ground in front of the corner, grabs both his hands, like steps over top of him, and like holds his arms from behind, pulls him up in the air, and then hits a cutter.
Yeah. He just explained that as best as you can. Sorry, go back and watch it. AR Fox is he's a must watch every time he steps in the ring. So just go back and watch it if you don't know what we're talking about.
I want this dude to get a personality like right now, just so we can justify seeing him on TV more. They haven't done anything for him as far as character goes.
Yeah, I don't even know if we've heard him speak yet at all. Like, not even a word.
I can't think of anything unless he had like a backstage thing with one of his tag team partners at one point or something where he's like okay, we got this, like, you know, like one word.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's something like that, but
I can't even think of that.
I don't know either. I don't know at all.
But that takes us to the main event of the first Dynamite in 2023. And we talked about it when we first started off the show. Or, sorry, watching it live. Like, if this is the main event, are they, you know, Darby's at home in a title match, nearly crying during his entrance. Like, he did his normal, like, screaming, like, energy kind of chaos kind of stuff, but like, he was shaking a little bit. Like, he had that quiver.
Yeah, it didn't dawn on me that this was Darby's hometown until you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why this is our main event. Darby is definitely winning the belt tonight.
Yeah, but also during Darby's entrance, they're talking about who he trained under, Buddy Wayne, who passed away, which one of the main reasons they probably brought it up was because the Prodigy, Nick Wayne, who we have seen wrestle now twice at least in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at ringside. Darby goes over, gives him a big hug, but then Joe comes out.
Joe.
He just does the menacing thing, goes up to Nick Wayne and like grabs him by like the shirt, kind of shaking him around a little bit. And the camera angle is completely focused down the ringside area, so you're not looking any way, shape, or form towards the ring. Darby comes flying out of nowhere.
Darby out of nowhere. Darby's body just flying all over the place all the time.
He did not hit the ground in the prettiest looking way on that one either.
He never does.
Man, the recklessness, I don't know how it hasn't bit him in the ass. Just in his time in AEW, not even before AEW.
Yeah. He's a durable little guy. That's for sure.
But also, all this fighting, or this attack, happened outside the ring. Joe hasn't gotten the ring yet, which means the bell hasn't rung. Match hasn't started.
Which means shenanigans.
Man, that first swing that he took at Samoa Joe with the skateboard, hitting him with the wheels, not even the flat side. I hope he pulled that pretty well, because that can't feel good.
Yeah. Dude. Joe actually took hits for once. It was weird because the last match between those two, it was just Joe beating the shit out of Darby for like 10 minutes.
Then like 1 minute Darby, and then Joe saying, "Fuck this, we've had enough."
Yeah. So this one was back and forth though. And then Darby got a whole lot of shit on him before the match even started.
He chased him all the way up the ramp to like the stage area, beating him with the skateboard before running out to grab not even like the normal size wrestling ladder, but like the taller wrestling ladders that they use. Throws it up on the stage. I'm not even sure if this part of the stage was a flat part or if it was angled. That ladder did not look sturdy when he climbed to the top.
Yeah, I think it was flat.
Okay.
But either way, yeah.
Because it was real close to that point.
Big ass ladder. Big ass ladders aren't sturdy.
I'm hoping because they shot the camera angle from below looking up at him, that the refs at that point kind of, even though it takes away from the illusion, I hope the ref was kind of just like, let me hold this ladder for you.
He probably did. The refs usually will like try to help out with the ladder. That was I'm assuming that we're going to be talking about a hit of the night here shortly.
Oh no, I mean shortly, yes, but the swanton off the ladder onto Joe on the ramp was not it.
Okay. All right. I know what it is then.
Oh yeah. If you remember my reaction when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Audibly just going like, oh fuck, or holy shit, or whatever I said, because later Darby's on the ring apron, Joe's on the ground standing on the ground at ringside. Darby goes to dive at him. Joe catches him with a uranagi. I forgot to put the graphic up on my own damn thing. Not only did he catch him with the uranagi like he often does, he slammed him on the steel steps. When I say the steel steps, I don't mean at the top of the steel steps where it's flat. No, on the actual corner steps. Drops him down. And I don't know if I've ever seen anyone in wrestling get slammed on that part of the steps before.
Darby.
Crazy bastard.
Yep, I've seen him I've seen it happen to him before, but not like this.
I don't even remember it before. I hope I don't forget this one because I was just like, oh my. Because there's so much that can go wrong in that situation.
Yeah.
You're slightly too high or too low just by like an inch, and your head is going to hit in a nasty way.
Thankfully, he's alive.
And also not injured because hopefully not injured. We don't know what's going to come from this match after.
Yeah, hopefully not. That would be so sad.
Because we don't need another interim champion. Because Darby Allin is now your TNT champion. How many times in the last couple minutes did he fight out of a chokehold? I know
2 or 3.
Okay. So I can think of the one where it was on the ground, like in the corner, where they like flipped out of the pin into it. And then there was the one where he channeled his inner Sting and did the whole like chest beating thing before taking his head into the exposed turnbuckle. Yeah. Your audio is not coming through.
Hello.
There you go.
Okay, that's weird. Huh.
even as you did that, like as you slowly like raised it, I could hear nothing, and then just very quietly, and then just a little bit more, and all of a sudden it was perfect. It was weird.
Oh. Yeah, that's weird. Because the microphone, I haven't moved it this whole time, but apparently all of a sudden it decided that that wasn't good enough.
Just like one coffin drop wasn't good enough.
Oh yeah.
After Darby bounced Joe's head off the exposed turnbuckle, he did one coffin drop to Joe's back, went to the other turnbuckle, hit a second one with that. And we make the joke about Sting and his son often, right? Or Darby and his daddy.
Yeah, I'll just say this was Sting Senior and Junior. Just hugging it out in the ring. Yeah, son, you did it. He's like, I know. Thanks, Dad. I love you.
It was one of those moments, like he hugged him, like something just made it happen, and Sting is like lifting him up while hugging him, and at the point, like he's like turning and stuff, so it just looks like a parent proudly hugging their small child.
Yeah. All right. So from now on, he's called Daddy Sting.
We talked about this earlier. We have so many daddies on the show.
Or is he gonna be Daddy Darby?
Darby. You can have Daddy Darby or Darby Daddy. Bring back Daddy
Daddy Allen.
Daddy Ass. Daddy Magic. Talk about getting his nipples hard. That could be a fun conversation between him and Daddy Doom.
Like, what's up? You know what gets Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Non-sexual things.
I mean, if her style really is like the dominatrix gimmick, it really could work into something stupid.
Oh God! Please don't.
I really hope it's just a one-time thing for her. Just they didn't even name drop her, so I hope not. But since that covers all the show, I don't have to really cut this out. But of course, this is when Rod shows up.
Wearing nothing but a t-shirt right now.
Daddy conversation and nothing but a t-shirt on.
Yeah, I don't like that. You got to put at least one sock on. It's too naked. But not underwear, though.
I saw, and you might have seen this too because you're probably mutual friends with them on Facebook. But I saw this one post earlier today, and I thought this was going to be one of those situations where Rod posted it. It screamed Rod all the way. It says, "If you got beef, just remember, I'll fight you with my dick out." It's just a bunch of naked dudes like smacking each other.
Oh, you got beef, I'll fight you with my dick out. All right. Oh God.
If there's something that's kind of like different in that kind of way where it makes me do a double take, I usually expect to scroll up and see one name attached to it.
Yeah. A good half of the what the fuck on my Facebook page is Rod. That's for sure.
When I saw it wasn't him, I thought about going into the actual like OG post and like tagging him on it. Screw it. Don't you worry, David. I'm gonna tag you too.
Yay. I love being tagged in stuff about dicks out.
It could be worse. I could have actually accidentally tagged Senior.
Oh man. Yeah. He'd call me like right away and be like, hey, what's wrong with Jeremy? He ain't, you know, is he? Why did he send me that? Like, he would be so disturbed. Like, you'd trigger his homophobia so hard.
That old man stuff, and also combined with the fact that, like, why would we randomly have beef?
Right. Right. Like, there would be so many questions that he would be asking me and not asking you.
Maybe I should have just shared it to your page instead.
Oh God. Yeah, there'd still be way too many questions that he'd be asking me. Yeah. Well, I just got a phone call from
Sorry.
my stomach.
I saw wrestling news from Fightful pop up on my phone, but it wasn't anything significant to affect what we're doing right now. It was for MLW, and they brought somebody in, and yes, I was like, oh yeah, we're not going to talk about that at all.
They got Disco Inferno.
I think he tried to help run WCW and was one of the reasons it fell apart.
But he's the Disco Inferno, though.
Well, how would Disco Inferno do on a show that starts off with, "This is Jeopardy"?
I don't know. I haven't seen it happen yet.
I wonder if they had like a wrestling version back in the day, but there's only 3, so it's so much harder than like Family Feud where you can have like 10 people.
Yeah.
Is it 4 or 5 per team?
I don't know. I don't watch enough Steve Harvey. But it's there's people. There's definitely people.
There's people.
I got that much for sure.
And usually they know each other.
Yes.
But
not always blood related, but they do know each other.
That being said, I know Mr. Range of Motions needs to go visit a very good personal friend. It's usually porcelain with a little bit of water at the bottom. And it has this nice little lever that does this magic trick of making things disappear. I only had to say that much because you already outed it. So if you're here, don't forget, like, all that good stuff. And we will see you maybe on Friday. Maybe. I hope to find that stuff so we can do
it. Yeah. We'll hopefully see you on Friday.
Possibly an hour earlier than normal if we do a watch vlog. But we'll catch you then.
Yep. Tips out.
You want to touch tips?
Yeah, I'll touch your tip, man. Let's